Hey guys, welcome back to Keeping Up with the X-Men. We are going to talk about True Believers. This is Enter the Phoenix, and this includes the very end of issue 100, which talks about when the X-Men were captured, how the guy up there was creating the Sentinels, how Jean Grey decided to take the pilot's experience. She pilots the ship down herself. The ship crashes into the Jamaica Bay. Jean Grey is incinerated and killed in some tremendously amazing artwork, by the way. And then at the start of the next comic, which is issue 101, that was the introduction of the Phoenix. Jean Grey, after the crash, emerges from the Jamaica Bay in what made me a Jean Grey fan forever. She emerges from the water and claims, "Hear me, X-Men. No longer am I the woman you knew. I am fire and life incarnate, now and forever. I am Phoenix." And then she passes out and falls into the Jamaica Bay. She's done. That quick. The power was overwhelming. Now, later on, this would all become a retcon, but I believe the idea here originally was that Jean Grey could not handle the power she got. She'd been given great power by this entity, and it took her over, and her body was overwhelmed, and she passes out because they have to take her to the hospital. She's not waking up. Now, later on, you'll figure out that this was actually the birth of a new life form, technically, that the Phoenix had created a copy body of Jean Grey. So, technically, it is the same idea. The power is not... Jean Grey is considered to be the most perfect vessel for the Phoenix. But that doesn't mean that it was always a smooth transition. This is unreasonable power, and to put it in the body of a mortal takes an amazing toll. She's lucky she survived becoming the Phoenix at all, and proof of that is actually given to us in a couple of comics, but most recently it would be in Jean Grey, I believe number 10, Jean Grey issue 10 of the current run of Jean Grey that just finished out. In that book, the Phoenix takes over young Jean Grey, and she can't handle it, and it actually burns her out. It cinders her. It kills her immediately. She's dead. And then, of course, we'll talk about it when we get there in issue 11. She's brought back to life and yada yada. But, yeah, it burned her out. It killed her. So, you know that the Phoenix simply bonding with somebody can be the end of them, let alone the Phoenix. And this is the entire Phoenix. This is not what happened to the Phoenix 5. The Phoenix 5 were taken by 5 parts of the Phoenix, not 1, 5. So that's literally 1/5 of the power of the Phoenix for each of them. That's it. Anyways, this book is all about Wolverine love triangle and kind of wanting Jean Grey, and he comes in, then he sees that they're all there to see her, and he doesn't want to get all sappy, throws the flowers away, introduce love triangle that will affect us for the rest of forever. Professor Xavier mopes. Scott basically becomes unusable. They hear that Jean Grey is okay. She's waking up, and Scott goes in the other room to cry and just be happy that Jean is alive, and that all the things that he wanted to tell her, all the things he wanted to say and do, he now has a chance to do. He's kind of overwhelmed. The X-Men decide that at this point, it's going to be important for Scott and Xavier to watch over Jean. The other X-Men are in desperate need of some downtime, and that is exactly what we do in this book. The introduction of the Phoenix is just like the introduction of Wolverine. It's not that exciting. This is one of those books that gets a tremendous following as being this huge deal. And that one moment that I told you about when she comes out of the water, huge deal, epic deal, amazing deal, shocking deal, blows your mind. It's crazy good. The rest of this book is actually just a lot of character stuff that sets up for an adventure of okay proportions. It's kind of wild. It's just like the actual first appearance of Wolverine. All that happens is Wolverine comes out and says, now you got to tangle with the Wolverine, and that was pretty much the end of the book. And then the book after that is actually Wolverine's first fight. So yeah, this is one of those books where it's huge because it introduced a character, but the rest of what was going on wasn't really that extraordinary. Wolverine says he ain't going nowhere. Xavier says he is going somewhere. They finally decide they are going somewhere, so they go out to I believe it was Banshee's castle. It's in his home, in his family rather. This is, I'm trying to remember. The castle has an actual name. But anyways, they go out to this castle, Cassidy Keep. Yeah, it's that simple, which would make sense because it's in his family and he's Cassidy. So yeah. Anyways, they get there. It's a big castle and something's going on the inside. The guy who takes care of the place is, now this is I believe this is, it's not revealed till the end. I think this is Black Tom Cassidy, who was friends with he was friends with the Juggernaut for a while because yeah. I can't remember that this actually goes anywhere with them being friends, but look, they go to this castle. There's some nefarious things taking place. The X-Men decide that they're going to relax for the night, and they're going to prep themselves, relax a little, go to a dinner, and just about one of the only things that happens in this book, it's a lot of character development. It's a lot of back and forth. We see more of that thing that I've tried to talk about on the podcasts about Storm, that when she thinks about being comfortable, part of it is she's more comfortable being nude. It's the thing. She's very goddess. She's very elegant, and she's comfortable with herself, and she'd rather roam around naked, take a shower, relax for 20-40 minutes, just being beautiful. And then when she does finally get dressed, see, that's it right there. This is what I mean. She comes into the castle. She decides it's time to rest. She gets naked. She takes a shower. She gets dressed in this super crazy, awesome, elegant, flowing garment here. And then she gets dressed in the most knockout dress. This is something about Storm. I'm going to tell you guys, every time we talk about an evening out, Storm always wears the greatest, most knockout outfit that you could possibly imagine. I don't know if that plays into the whole goddess thing or what, but every time she's like the biggest knockout in terms of clothes that there can be. But anyway, she goes to the dinner with you're probably a little confused if you don't know. That is Nightcrawler. The young Vincent Price looking mug, that's Nightcrawler. He has the image inducer. So if you know them from X-Men Evolution, that this originated in the comics. It has always been a thing. She decides she's going to dinner with Nightcrawler. Then she gets down there, and Peter says that he's the date for the evening, and then she decides that they're both the date for the evening. She's not interested in either one of them in terms of sexual encounter or anything of that magnitude. She's not interested in boyfriend, girlfriend. She's just looking to have a good time tonight, relax, eat, have fun with her friends, and she doesn't care who happens to sit next to her or escort her to this event. As they're on their way, a trap door opens. They all somehow magically revert to their costumes, and I'm talking it's magical. Even they don't know what happened. I think they even say, oh no, Banshee actually screams out, "Into costume, all of yees," which that's comic books. Again, they don't have the ability to do that. I don't know why. Some comics let them do that, and other comics they have to change clothes, but whatever. Anyways, they fall down there. Storm figures out that she's in an enclosed basement. She starts to freak out. That's not going to be good. Juggernaut, Black Tom, Cassidy, they've been captured. There you go. That was it. That is the introduction. That is what gave us the Phoenix. I'm skipping around pretty heftily, of course, but that was it, guys. That moment. It's one quick amazing panel, but the rest of the book can easily be dismissed, and there's not really much to say other than enter the Phoenix. Yeah. All right, guys. That's one of the many things we have to talk about down, so you are now all caught up with this backlog event. You know the events of Enter the Phoenix later on.